Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Everybody guys, today we will replace the gold analysis by the Great British Pound, because in the gold market the price still just climbing to our next 1265 destination point, the ABCD, large ABCD pattern that we have discussed in our weekly research, and the hourly chart is still valid, and actually gold analysis doesn't need any update right now. That's why we will take a look at the Great British Pound instead, because here the situation stands a bit tricky, not quite clear. If you remember, in a longer term perspective, on the daily chart we have extended target, and we think that sooner rather than later, but market should reach the 132.50 area. Today is starting the FOMC meeting, and that's why we should be ready for any surprises in the markets, because just we can't foresee and predict what will happen. But taking into consideration the recent trend and the speeches of the FOMC representatives, and Yellen, that what she said in the previous meetings and in Congress, it's mostly was a bit more dovish comments rather than hawkish, and I think they prepared the public, the investors, to idea that no rate increasing will happen in 2017 anymore. That's why, guys, personally, that's just my personal opinion. I think that in today's meeting, the chance to give some more dovish comments are greater than to get some hawkish comments. That's why I think that it's probably the FOMC meeting has more chance to be the supportive for our idea on the Great British Pound rather than stands against it. But guys, personally, I'm not trading the FOMC meetings. I'm not trading the non-farm payrolls release and so on. That's why this is just my view, and of course I could be wrong, and just do not rely on only blindly on my opinion on the FOMC possible results. So let's take a look what we have on the technical picture. As I said, we have the target 132.50. This is a 1618 extension of our large initial ABCD pattern. And that's also 100% extension of most recent AB equals CD. With this most recent pattern, we have some bullish signs. First of all, this acceleration right to the minor 618 target. And actually, guys, retracement to this target already has happened. So this retracement actually should be sufficient. It's enough to make respect to this minor extension, because market is not at ever bad. It's not to some significant resistance. So that's why it probably should be sufficient action. Of course, it could be deeper to the downside, but it's not really corresponds too much with this acceleration. So if we will get some kind of flat actions, gradual action, and then we could suggest some kind of deeper retracement, it will not break the overall idea of the ABCD pattern, but it's not quite logical here. At the same time, although we have the bullish signs and market mostly stands at the eve of the upward continuation, but it still can't create some clear bullish patterns. It can't create some significant momentum, something of that sort. Could say yes, indeed, the upward action is continuing. It's trying to turn the overall action in positive side, but it's not really looks very impressive right now. Here, guys, also some kind of the interesting behavior is forming. So it's very often happens when the market creates side by side multiple grabbers and creeps across with the MACD predictor line. This usually becomes the some preliminary signs of the further upward acceleration. Usually when the market forms side-by-side tight grabbers in the shape of retracement here, it leads usually to fast acceleration up. But here we have a bit tricky moment. Yes, price is creeping with the MACD line, but take a look here. We do not have the bearish grabbers. Actually, they are bullish grabbers. Actually, they are bearish. And every time market closes below the MACD, that's why overall action is very similar to pairing of the bullish grabbers, but at the same time we have the negative closes of this candle. So it's very difficult to understand how to better interpret what interpretation to make here. So on the intraday charts, guys, it's also interesting situation because take a look on the 4-hour time frame chart. Trend is bullish. Even market starts to upward direction, but take a look. Its overall upward direction doesn't look really impressive. Here we even could say that actually here we have some kind of the regardless GBPUSD sell pattern. So I just show you some kind of this action. So we have discussed. Here we could say that even we have the bearish pattern that could get the downward continuation, mostly because market shows very choppy action here. It's definitely it's not the thrust, not some bullish momentum, and maybe it could form the downward ABCD. That's also possible. Conversely, we could suggest that, well, market at the same time could form the opposite butterfly. For example, if this could become the left wing, right, that could become the right wing. So market could start here as a result of this famous meeting, something of that sort. So what we could do in the current circumstance when lots of unclear moment stands. Well, usually, guys, there's two possible ways to act in such circumstances. First is to wait for clarity. So when you definitely will see that something is forming. For example, if market will show some retracement minor here, will keep trend bullish, maybe grabber will be formed, start upward action, taking out of this stop. In this case, you could say yes, probably butterfly is forming, but try to, this upward action will continue right to the target. You could search for a chance to go long. Or for example, if market will start dropping, or you could use even these free drives, not the free drive, GBPUSD sell pattern. If you have the bearish and Great British pound start dropping, taking out of these lows, raising the opportunity for the butterfly, you can say yes, probably the ABCD is forming. That's one way to act. In this case, you will be searching for a long position somewhere around 28.60. Another chance to act is to drop your time frame to the lower, for example, hourly chart, and stick with the different minor patterns. So market here, as you can see, shows some kind of the bullish signs actually. So it has turned to the bullish chances, bullish channel. It has broken this trend line. As you can see, resistance, resistance, breakout, support, and upward action. And also, it has returned back in the consolidation of the previous triangle that we have discussed last week when the double ripple has been completed. Take a look at market again. Resistance, resistance, breakout, support, support, support again, guys. So actually, with this upward choppy action, market has broken these both trend lines, and this looks really bullish. Usually, when traders deal with the channels, they do not know how to act because it's a bit confusing. It's lots of different swings inside of the channel, what to do, how to trade, and usually they miss the great opportunities because actually, guys, channels are the gold mine of the harmonic patterns. So I could show you 4 different patterns right now inside of this channel. So 2 of them you already see. This is both times Gartner's GBPUSD buy. So you could keep an eye on these possible patterns. As soon as it will be formed, you could take the position with a very small risk and just keep watching what will happen. Move your stop to the break-even and watch what will happen next. Because action in channel gives you the great invalidation points. So this is the borders of the channel. So this is first Gartner's GBPUSD buy. This is second Gartner's GBPUSD buy. As you can see here, market already started to move bounce up. And you could freely move to stop to the break-in and watch what will happen. If the breakout will happen, well, it's okay. It will be answered to you that the bullish context has been broken and market broken the channel and dropping. If market will continue action inside of the channel, that's just great because you will have the positions and you will be able to add more on the upward action. This is 2 patterns. Another pattern you could see Gartner's GBPUSD sell was forming here. That's just for scalp traders. You can see left wing of the Gartner's GBPUSD ABC retracement. Here's was opportunity for taking short position with the minor target. Okay, you could see butterfly here. This is left wing. That is some kind of right wing. It's 127, 1618 butterfly. But since we're watching for entering long position, just keep watching on the channel. And when we will get the next opportunity to go along with another Gartner's GBPUSD buy will be formed or something of that sort, you just could use it with a relative small risk. And if overall tendency will continue, maybe market later will show some acceleration or some development. This will be a great opportunity because your risk will be very small. So that's another approach how to usually deal with situations when you have not significant clarity. So that's what we would like to say on the Great British Pound. Let's take a look on the progress, what will happen.